Go back to Africa, you monkey!
The crowd at Gate 42 went silent as the man's voice echoed through the terminal. But the woman he aimed it at didn't even blink. She simply adjusted her pilot's cap, gave a faint, professional smile, and said, "Sir, I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I'll be the one flying you there, if you're lucky enough to stay on my plane." Before we continue, welcome to Voices Unchained. Please like this video, subscribe, and comment your location. We'd love to see how far these stories travel. Meet Danielle Carter. 15 years in the sky, over 5,000 hours logged, and countless lives safely carried across continents. Danielle Carter wasn't just a pilot. She was one of the few Black women in the world commanding a major international aircraft. Her passion for flying began as a child. Growing up near a small airfield, she used to watch the planes disappear into the clouds and whisper to herself, "One day, that'll be me." But every step of the way, people doubted her. "Are you sure you're qualified? Do you even have the experience?" She heard it all, yet her flight record was spotless. Every takeoff, every landing, every emergency handled with grace. Today, she was scheduled to captain Flight 209 from New York to London, but she had no idea this flight would turn into a lesson the world wouldn't forget. Then there was Richard Hale, a man who lived his life believing money bought respect. A wealthy investor known in his circles for being old-fashioned, which was really just a polite word for arrogant. That morning, delays had pushed him to his limit. He stormed through the terminal in his tailored gray suit, flashing his first-class ticket like a badge of honor. "First class here. Move it, people," he barked, brushing past families and muttering under his breath about incompetence. That's when his gaze locked onto Danielle. She stood by the boarding gate, uniform crisp, posture sharp, chatting with two cabin crew members. He gave her a dismissive look. "They're putting uniforms on anyone these days," he scoffed. Danielle simply smiled. "Welcome aboard, sir. We'll be taking off soon." He rolled his eyes, not realizing the woman he just insulted was the one person responsible for getting him safely across the ocean. When boarding began, Richard was first in line. He made sure everyone saw his ticket as if it were a trophy. Once seated, he poured himself a drink, muttering about how late this airline always is. Moments later, Danielle walked calmly down the aisle, heading for the cockpit. Richard barely looked up until he heard her voice over the intercom. "Good morning, everyone. Your pilot speaking. We'll be departing shortly. Please fasten your seatbelts and prepare for takeoff." The words hit him like a slap. He sat bolt upright, face turning red. "She's the pilot?" he exclaimed. "Is this a joke?" Gasps filled the cabin. One woman covered her child's ears, another whispered, "Oh no, not again." Danielle emerged from the cockpit, still calm. "Sir, is there a problem?" Richard stood, glaring. "You can't seriously be the pilot, and I'm not putting my life in the hands of some diversity hire. You better go back to Africa or wherever the hell you came from." The plane went dead silent. Even the engines seemed to pause. Danielle's face didn't change. "Sir," she said firmly, "take your seat right now, or I'll have you removed from this flight." Richard laughed harshly. "Do you know who I am? I'm Richard Hale." "I don't care who you are," Danielle interrupted. "This is my plane. Sit down." He smirked. "Or what?" Danielle calmly pressed her intercom. "This is Captain Carter requesting flight security immediately." Passengers began whispering. "Wait, she said captain?" one murmured. "She's the captain?" another gasped. Richard's confidence crumbled as the realization hit. The woman he just insulted was the one in charge. Within moments, two airport security officers boarded the plane. Danielle pointed directly at him. "That's the one." "Sir, please collect your belongings," one officer said flatly. Richard stammered, "You can't do this. I know people in aviation. You'll lose your jobs." But nobody cared. The passengers clapped. A few filmed on their phones. As he was escorted out, a woman muttered, "Maybe he should have gone back to kindness." Danielle took a steady breath, re-entered the cockpit, and spoke over the intercom once more. "Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. This is Captain Carter again. Let's make this a smooth flight to London." The cabin erupted in applause. The flight landed safely at Heathrow. Passengers disembarked with smiles, thanking her personally as they left. One little girl stopped at the cockpit door, eyes wide. "You're really the captain?" Danielle knelt down and smiled. "Yes, sweetheart, and you can be one too." By the next morning, the video of the confrontation had gone viral. News outlets ran headlines. Passenger removed after racist rant toward black female pilot. Richard Hale became the internet's villain of the week. His business partners cut ties, and the airline announced he was permanently banned. Meanwhile, Danielle was flooded with messages of love and gratitude from around the world. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to Voices Unchained, where real stories meet real justice and inspiration takes flight. A week later, Danielle stood on stage at an aviation conference, the crowd of young pilots before her. "People will question you," she said, her voice calm but powerful. "They'll judge you by how you look before they know what you're capable of. But you can't let their noise drown out your purpose. You belong where your hard work has earned you. Don't ever forget that." The audience rose in applause. Some were crying, others were recording, knowing they were witnessing something historic. So the next time someone doubts you, remember Captain Danielle Carter, the woman who turned hate into humility and prejudice into proof of power. If you felt inspired by this story, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop your location in the comments. Let's see how far courage can fly. Because at the end of the day, the sky isn't the limit. It's just the beginning.